Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about mounts and whether mounts should be added to New World. So yesterday, if you haven't seen yesterday's upload, what we did was talk about pets, how they could be added in and whether you guys thought it would be a good idea or not. And we got some great conversations going in the comments, so thank you very much to everybody that did comment on that video. It's really interesting to hear your guys' point of view on that, see what you all thought of it. And it seems like most people would like to see them in some form, but it would need to be polished, which I definitely agree with. So today we're going to be talking about mounts in New World and whether I think they're going to be a good idea, how I think they could be implemented, and again, I'd love to hear from you guys after this video, so once you've watched it through, go down below in the comments and let me know what you think. So jumping straight into it here then, should mounts be in the game? Well, I think if they are going to be in the game, they need to be very, very balanced. And at the current time, what we're seeing in the beta, the current size of the map, I don't think we need it with fast traveling. Now, hear me out on this point because some people will be mad because it just does save a lot of time. But here's the thing. When you've got PvP active, which hopefully they're going to have some more incentive to do when the full release comes around, PvP works really well because everybody is on foot and you can stun people or people have getaway abilities, and that is dependent upon how they want to play. And I think that right now in the New World open world PvP setting that they've got going on, this works really, really well. Now, if mounts were available and to be able to be used, this could spoil the atmosphere of PvP because people could either get away or just ride past you and choose to not engage in PvP even when they are flagged, and it could allow them to get the benefits of being PvP flagged while not really having to engage in combat. Now, obviously they could go ways around this, like not enabling mounts to be a function when you have PvP flagged up, but again, would that just discourage more people from being PvP flagged, at least until they get to max level? Probably. So it needs to be a very balanced way of doing it, and I think that going forward in the game, what they're going to try and do, or what they're hoping to do, is to put a lot more incentive on the efforts of actually going to be PvP flagged. And I think that it might be counterintuitive to add mounts at this point, just because if it's something you can't do when flagged, people probably won't do it, and if it's something you can do while flagged, well, unless they had mounted combat, which is a whole other story, it might get a little messy. So maybe once the game's polished, maybe in a future update, we could maybe see this added in, as long as it is very, very balanced. But if we are going to add it in, let's talk about how they would add it in, how it would work, and some of the ideas that I had around these mounts in New World. So again, similar to how I discussed the pet system yesterday, my idea for mounts would be that you get to a certain level of territory standing, meaning that you would need to have a mount summonable in only one area. And this is just my first idea. I've got a couple that I want to run through, but this is kind of like the main one that I think would be the most balanced. So let's say you get to territory standing level 20 in an area, you then get a quest line available where you can go and get your mount, whether it's going to be a area specific mount, like, you know, a horse in some areas, a crocodile, who knows what we could have, turkey mounts, right? Everything, rabbits. We could have elk. The elk would be quite a cool one because it's kind of on the poster for the game, right? The mythical Eternum elk. We could have that as one of the mounts. All that kind of good stuff. Or it could just be a general horse in each area. Different types of horses, obviously, with the stables, because that would fit the theme of New World fairly well and quite accurately. So that would work nicely. Now, that could be added in as a quest line, as something you could do when you get to maybe territory standing level 20, 25. Meaning that you can't do it off the bat and you do have to get quite high levels in territory standing. So there'd still be a lot of people running around, and it would mean that for those higher level zones, you've got to do a lot more questing there, a lot more activities in those areas to actually be able to progress. And again, it would help out with town board quests, and actually the town's getting upgraded because people will be trying to unlock the mounts in each area. So that'd be a nice level of progression to add there in that respect. And then maybe there could be an advancement to that. So this gives you maybe a 10% movement speed buff or 20%. I don't think the mount should be anything crazy like 200% movement, because again, if they did add them in, you don't want it to spoil the atmosphere too much. And like I said, the size of the game right now feels right for moving just by running around. So maybe you just want a 50% boost or something. But the first one, I would say level 20, 25, you get a 20% boost to movement speed. Then, once you get to territory standing level 40, maybe even 50, you could then have a quest line to upgrade this mount, which would then upgrade its speed around that zone, maybe 50% or something like that. And this quest line, again, could be something similar to how I went down on a tangent with the pets one, where it could get infused with some sort of Eternum dark magic, and that's why the mount then becomes infused and faster, and it can have an overhaul to its aesthetic, looking kind of red and glowing, half mount, half like crystallized magic, which would be a really, really cool thing, like a corrupted mount or something like that. And that'd be really cool. It fit with the ethos of the game, fit with the style, the vibrance of the game, and still work really, really well to benefit those players that are playing it for a longer amount of time and exploring those areas and leveling up in those zones. So that could be a really cool idea. Now, the other idea that I've seen a lot of people throw around as well is that we just have a stables available in each settlement, and you can simply go ahead, buy a horse in that zone, zone, and then you can use it from that area. Now again, this would kind of tie in with the fast traveling, because maybe there's just stables next to the shrine, or you can summon your mount from those shrines, whatever the case may be, and then you can use it as soon as you've bought it in that area. Again, making a bit more incentive and something else to spend gold on, which I think is also a nice idea. Now along with this, they could add aesthetics to mounts. Obviously you could have different armors on there, not necessarily giving any benefit or bonus, but just to look a little bit different. You could have maybe your banners on there. You could make a custom crest, or it could be the company crest that goes, maybe a banner over the side of the horse underneath the saddle there and the armor. And obviously you could customize the look of the horse and all that kind of stuff as well, so it would be another level of kind of like customization and maybe a little bit more personalization to the game, which would be a really cool feature. And these stable systems could link nicely with the housing system or just the settlement system in general, and it could be something where each time that the settlement itself, or the company owning the settlement I should say, actually chooses to upgrade the stables, then mounts in that area become 5% faster each time it gets a new level. So then overall it'd be 25% faster, plus then you could level up territory standard, and maybe every 10 levels you get the opportunity to have maybe a 2.5% speed boost on mounts in that zone. Something along those lines could work really, really nicely as well. Now there is a few disadvantages to this. Like I mentioned at the beginning, the PvP would see a hit. It might be that you can level up a bit too quickly, particularly with the downboard quests. If you can literally ride out to the place you need to be where there's the most materials possible, gather a load, ride back, you know, how would encumberment work with that? If you're over encumbered, can you still get on a mount? Probably not, but it's still going to be very, very good for getting around quickly. But would this just make quality of life better in New World? Would that not necessarily be a disadvantage and maybe just make it a lot more of a smoother run? I know for one, I was getting tired of running to the same places around Everfall, particularly early on when I was gathering materials there, so maybe this would be a good thing to add there to speed that up a little bit as well, because maybe speeding it up's not always a bad thing. So I guess it does depend how they balance questing, townboard questing, how they balance PvP, how they balance it if they added a pet system alongside it, or obviously just if they added more areas to the world as well, maybe it would work better then. And you could have area specific mounts, which could be a really cool aesthetic change to the game, and it would fit in really well with the lore and history of the game, but it kind of does depend how it's balanced, I think. So those there are my thoughts on mounts. Whether they should be added, I think probably, but it would need to be very balanced and a kind of a fine-tuned way, but it would add a nice level of progression if they added in ways to upgrade these and customize them. It'd be a nice kind of sideline thing to do along with the housing and that kind of thing. So I think I would like to see them added, but I would like to see them added in a really intricate way that actually works very well within New World, because right now it was actually okay running. I got used to it. I was a bit annoyed at first, but once I got used to it, it was kind of okay. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Would you like to see mounts in New World? Would you not like to see them? Would you even like to see maybe battle mounts? I don't think I'd like to see battle mounts, but let me know what you guys think. Maybe even some war specific mounts that could help out with certain companies when they've unlocked those. Who knows? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, how you think mounts should be obtained, would they work, how you would like to see them work, all of that good stuff. Make sure you go ahead and join the Discord. We're having tons and tons of discussions in there about all of this kind of stuff leading up to New World, keeping the hype going. The link will be in the description and in the comments, so get yourself over and join that. We'd love to have you over there. Other than that, as always, if you have enjoyed today's video, do make sure you drop a like on it, as it really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care and peace.